1595 or so, our man Willie pumped a hot new show. Rad and bad this dynamite play, the story still blows your mind today. So listen up good and a rip you'll get out of Sweet Romeo and Juliet. In fair Verona, if you heard the news, lived the Capulets and the Montagues. They strutted their stuff, these muckety-mucks, in designer threads, costing big bucks. Now they hated each other, these families. You could say they were lifelong enemies. Now the leading man, as you soon will know, was a Montague son named Romeo. He was young and slim, a stud supreme, ready for action and loaded with steam. So let's listen up good to Romeo, as he raps with his pal Mercutio.
Mercutio, buddy, I could use some kicks. Let's get together with the local chicks.
Romeo, dude, that's nothing new. You're looking for a love like you always do.
Sure, man, I'm the romantic type. I grab the peach while the peach is ripe.
A party tonight, a killer bash, the kind of bash that we should crash.
Sounds cool, my man. A rage and blast. Just tell me where and let's get there fast.
At Capulet's pad, and that's not good news. They ain't too fond of you Montagues.
I agree, it's not a friendly place. I'll just wear this mask to hide my face.
Now Romeo, he's no ding-a-ling, so he crashes the party, doing his thing. Once inside, he cruises the place. Behind the mask that covers his face, he keeps his cool till a chick he spots, for whom he instantly has the hot stud Romeo. He doesn't know it yet, but this babe's Juliet, and she's a Capulet.
Yo, Foxy honey, you're out of sight. You're the foxiest chick I've seen all night.
Well, thanks so much, you gorgeous hunk. I think my heart just went kerplunk. You're a dude with class, and I can tell that together we'll fit really well.
I feel your vibe. We just can't miss. Let's seal it, baby, with a hot kiss.
I like your lips, oh yeah, indeed. I dig a guy who moves with speed. But honey, before we go too far, shouldn't I know just who you are?
Tack with names and all that stuff. We're hitting it off, and that's enough.
After lips unlock, they separate and learn the news that seals their fate. Juliet, babe, finally gets the clue that her mystery hunk is a Montague. As for Romeo, he's most upset to find his woman is a Capulet. For them, names are technicalities. After all, they feel such chemistry. They're hooked so tight, they're both in heat. They might get tricked, but what a treat. Soon Romeo splits, but he can't forget his yearning passion for Juliet. And later that night, underneath the tree, Romeo stalks his luscious honey. Peeping is more than a felony, but Romeo is hot for her beauty, so hidden in the night he watches his girl, and what he hears makes his head whirl.
Juliet, baby, you're chill, you're rad. For your beautiful bod, I've got it bad.
Romeo, baby, I'm gone, I'm hooked. I can't wait until we cook.
Same here, sweetie, but don't forget that I'm a Montague and you're a Capulet. Our families hate each other's guts, but come on, baby, you drive me nuts.
If it busts their chops, they can choke. I'm yours for keeps. I ain't blowing smoke.
No, our folks will flip their lids. After all, we're just two teenage kids, but I'm hot for you and you're hot for me, so we gotta get hitched in secrecy. Tomorrow the Friar Lawrence's will go and he'll make you Mrs. Romeo. If this notion appeals to you, let's do it before our parents say boo.
Now the friar man is a real cool guy, and he marries the couple oh so sly. He gives his word that nobody will know that Juliet hitched Romeo. Later that day, who does Romeo meet but Mercutio on the local street? They shoot the breeze, they have a real good schmooze, but they ain't prepared for the real bad news, cause coming along is a nasty dude with the most bodacious attitude. His name is Tybalt, like a rooster he struts, and to make matters worse, he wants Romeo's guts.
Hey Romeo, you Montague nerd. You're the prince of wimps from what I've heard.
Don't front me, Tybalt. You better stash your sword. You're either smashed or you're out of your gourd.
Get off my turf, you Montague zits, or I'll slice you up into little bits.
Surprise, surprise, it's Mercutio, who stands up for his dude Romeo. He won't let anyone wax his chum, especially Tybalt, that creepy bum. They draw their swords with both their goals to fill the other guy with holes, but Romeo says,
"This isn't right!"
and stands between them to stop the fight. But sneaky Tybalt, in a flash, zaps Mercutio with an awful gash.
Romeo, buddy, you got me good. Why'd you stand where you shouldn't have stood?
I was hoping I could stop the fight.
Well, I'm bleeding to death, so he stopped it all right. So long, old buddy, but before I go, there's a piece of news you should know. I ain't a Capulet or a Montague, so hear me good what I'm telling you. If you want your chums to be living dudes, don't involve them in no family feuds.
Romeo now is mad as hell. His body's been waxed, which don't sit well. He draws his sword, pulls up his tights, and goes after Tybalt to put out his lights. Though Tybalt's a snake, a lousy swine, a duel with Romeo suits him fine. Romeo's nose is out of joint, and he waxes Tybalt, who gets the point. Once he knocks off Tybalt, poor Romeo has to look real fast for a place to go. He splits the scene and bolts away to the friar man, where he does stay. Now let's take a look-see at Juliet, who hears the news and sits and sweats.
I should be a happy young newlywed, but Tybalt was my cousin and now he's dead. Even worse is the news you know, that the guy who killed him was Romeo. Sure, Romeo fills my heart with thrill, but how can I live with the guy who kills? I'll tell you, sister, this ain't no lie. The way I'm feeling, I'd like to die.
I should be a
As
happy
for
young
Romeo,
newlywed,
who's
but
on the
my pal
lam, he
Mercutio
knows he's in the
now
most
is dead.
dreadful jam.
What's
His
even
state is
worse,
such that he
I
can't
forget.
resist, sobbing on the floor while pounding his fists.
I should be a happy young newlywed, but my pal Mercutio now is dead. What's even worse, I can't forget, I waxed the cousin of Babe Juliet. Believe you me, it's hard
Yep,
to
that's all you
exist
do.
when you know you're on the most wanted list. I tell you, brother, when all is said, the way I'm feeling, I'd rather be dead.
They both bounce back from feeling sad since they hunger for each other. Real bad, said Romeo, shrugs off his gloom, climbing a wall into Juliet's room. One look at him and she starts to drool. So he stays the night, and around they fool. They waste no time, they have a ball, even barely knowing each other at all. You can bet a buck and a buck you get that their troubles aren't quite over yet. Come morning time, Romeo splits and Juliet confronts Papa Capulet. He says,
Juliet, I've been thinking today that you ought to get hitched and ride away. I picked the fella, say bye-bye blues. His name is Paris. He's the guy for you.
This piece of news lays Juliet low because she's already married to Romeo. Stressed out bad and singing the blues, she tells Friar Lawrence the awful news.
Friar Lawrence, I'm in a terrible state. My papa wants Paris as my mate. But I can't do that because anyone can see. Marriage to Paris is bigamy.
Now, Juliet, honey, don't have no cow. I've a clever plan that'll work right now. I prepared a special drug for you. You can call it a far-out miracle brew. Take one gulp and fall in a faint. Folks will think you're dead, but you really ain't. You'll be laid to rest, then revive, and you'll feel real happy being alive. Then you'll split this town and off you go, just you and stud hubby, Romeo.
So Juliet takes the crazy drug, which knocks her flat out like a rug. She's put in a tomb, her folks never guessed that she wasn't dead, just getting a rest. She'll wake up, of course, in a day or so, and she'll run off with her husband Romeo. There's just one problem that lies ahead. Romeo hears that Juliet's dead. He opens the tomb for a final look, and you gotta know that he's really shook. He sees the body of his beautiful chick, so he swallows a poison that kills him quick. He's lying there cold, no longer alive, when Juliet finally begins to revive. She looks around, and what does she see but Romeo dead? Dead as can be. Without him around, what good is life? So she stabs herself with a suicide knife. With both of them dead, it's not good news for the Capulets or the Montagues. They're sobbing and weeping, all unglued, seeing the results of their family feud. Knowing in the hearts that they've all been wrong, they promise each other to get along. They have to do it, they all regret, without Romeo or Juliet. For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.